Good afternoon and welcome back to Picture Class. This is our 10th episode. (2021's) The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. This is his fourth superhero film after Super 2010, Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2 from 2014 and 2017. So he is no stranger to the genre of the superheroes. We have this famous marketing creative title of The to demonstrate that it is the second film to differentiate it from the first film from 2016, simply called Suicide Squad. We don't want to have a mix-up like The Fast and the Furious and Fast and Furious, as well as The Final Destination and Final Destination. Yes, those are 4 different movies I just said there. This very creative The, which has been all the rage in Hollywood in the recent years.
The? Yeah.
Film is very funny, very R-rated. We have some cool characters such as the Polka Dot Man. We have John Cena as the Peacemaker, who's getting his own TV series. Viola Davis comes back with a fury in this movie. I love how she was written in this movie, so much better than the previous one. Joel Kinnaman returns as Rick Flag, and we have Sylvester Stallone, of course, being King Shark, who is just one of the most fun characters James Gunn has came up with yet.
Nom nom.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
What I really like about this movie is its sense of humor. James Gunn had me in 2010 with Super. I thought it was hilarious. And Rainn Wilson stars as a guy who has his wife taken from him and he becomes a superhero. I think I oversimplified it there, but Rob Zombie's in it. I think it's God or something, and he was an octopus. Not really sure if I just messed that up or just made that up. No, this is a real movie. I might have spoiled a little bit, but you should see it. James Gunn has a sick, demented mind, from the beautifully messed up mind of James Gunn, as he says in the trailer. He really did a lot with a lot of characters that no one really gives a rat's ass about, and I think that's what James Gunn's strength is. He's that underdog that we all really like. The Guardians of the Galaxy was not really a brand until he made it a brand, and the Suicide Squad could have that same future based on the well-writtenness of it, as well as it's a brand that has already worked. So James Gunn was the perfect person to bring on board for a project like this.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, and somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is a film completely part of the IP generation. The IP generation is what I believe is the filmmaking that has probably taken over post-MCU, maybe mid-2012s onwards, where it's got to be an intellectual property in order to get a film version of it. Something like that. It's kind of like a more part of a chain of films. Not saying that they're bad, but they're completely there as part of a marketing of something else. And all the studios want in on this right now. This seems to be what the hot topic is. Universal wanted to do this a few years ago with their Dark Universe. Could have been a pretty good idea. King Kong and Godzilla are having a kaiju universe. Not a bad idea. The DC Extended Universe, which no one really knows because the fate of the company, Warner was purchased by AT&T, and all these different things happened the last few years. There was a point where 20th Century Fox was about to buy Warner Brothers, and one of the things that they said to help, their business and company grow would be this DC Extended Universe, which years later we have seen is not exactly everything they hoped it would be. It's a good example of when the idea doesn't work as well as it does, and there's the creative minds and the financial people. And Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut came out earlier this year, which was a special edition director's cut of a 2017 film, which no one really liked, but everyone saw. So this basically gave a reason to watch HBO Max, right? So it's a way of drawing in content. And The Suicide Squad's a brand new film intended for the theaters. So now we're in this IP generation of being swarmed with content. This movie is directly related to a movie that just came out, which is an alternate universe but there's so much explaining in regards to a lot of the IP movies. I'd have to say it's not like you can watch one or two. It's like, are you part of our IP? Are you part of the DC universe? Are you part of the Harry Potter universe? So if you know you've seen all the 8 movies and you've read the books and you've seen the plays, have you seen the comics and the TV shows, Arrow? So it's not just movies. The IP generation is movies are part of something bigger. You know what I'm saying? Not everything has a movie tie-in. Usually movies will have TV show tie-ins or cartoon tie-ins, comic book tie-ins. Now it's kind of the movie's a tie-in for something else, which is no problem. This is just a different generation of filmmaking. And it's kind of like the Westerns were around for 30, 40 years and now they're kind of gone. Superhero genre has been lasting a while, so it might be a trajectory going into a different way after a while, thinking maybe in the post-2020s. So we're still at the beginning of this decade. I don't know if this is a representation of what's going forward or this is a representation of the culmination of, all these superhero movies. We've had the Avengers, we've had the Ultimate Battle of 25 movies, we have, can it keep going, or is people going to start losing interest and they're kind of going to fizzle out? Monster movies lasted a good 30, 40 years, the slasher genre. Is the superhero genre dying? Is it part of this IP generation that's going to slowly go different? Because it's not limited to superheroes this generation. This generation's book releases with, Harry Potter's. So our current trajectory is kind of unsure. This film is like a weird apex, I feel, because it was very, very well made and it didn't really do too well. But is it success based on its box office numbers, even though we know about the current situation? So who knows where film's going to go from here. But I at least want to try to cover something from the 2020s, and I thought it's appropriate and it's relevant for once. I try. So give this a like if you like us. Share us with somebody who might care. Of course, there are way better reviews out there than this one, and hopefully next week will be our 3rd attempt at doing the 1950s. I'm stuck between 2 movies. Maybe I'll do them both. We'll end the picture class with a double feature. It's not a bad idea, actually. No, I'm not going to do it one movie.